Welcome to the CaribNet Business Interview. I am your host, Michael Adams, and along with my colleagues at caribnet.com, we look forward to bringing you a variety of interesting features and interviews from Caribbean entrepreneurs, both at home and abroad. On the 24th of November 2012, the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce will be conducting its 24th Annual Banquet and Business Awards. As a lead into this year's award ceremony, CaribNet have decided to conduct a series of short and informal interviews with the award winners from 2011. Our third interview in this series is with Samir Carrasquel of Shield Promotions, a company specialising in various forms of graphic design. Samir was the 2011 winner of the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award. This is the interview. Hi Samir, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, well it's been a year since you were nominated the Young Businessman of the Year. How did you feel when you received that award?
I felt pretty good, that hard work is finally being paid off, because that's what I always try to put forward, Peace.
Was it a big surprise?
Actually it was, because I never started to do this in order aiming to get an award or anything like that. I was just doing work that I love.
Do you want to explain a little bit more about exactly what Shield Promotions does, just for anybody who doesn't know?
Well, basically, Shield Promotions, the main aim of Shield Promotion, the main work that we do is just graphic designing and signage, right? But when it comes down to basically anything in your head, we bring it out to life. So we do signs, banners, designs, billboards, a lot of numerous things that we do,
I noticed you do vehicle wraps as well.
Yes, we do vehicle wraps, truck wraps. We even wrapped toy cars for people, enthusiasts, the stuff that we just take hobbies and make people's dream come true.
Well, you're only a young man. Where did the vision come from? How did you know that this was the field that you wanted to operate in?
Well, it really came about, with me working for someone that was in the same field, right? For quite some time. But it really came out after, because when I sat down and analyzed the whole situation, is that everyone in the same field was really in one way killing the people. By me saying killing, meaning that their costs were very, very high, right? And everybody in the same field had the same cost, So somebody wanted a banner, it was way up in the sky.
And what you were saying was that you saw that there was no need for that pricing. So in other words, it was killing the cat whilst it was there.
Exactly. So I went online, looked at different equipment, different ways that we could get stuff done material-wise and provide that same service at a lower cost-effective, price.
So you were bringing the consumer value.
Yes, that's basically, what we do here is just a quality product at a valuable cost. Okay, well
that sounds very, very, very encouraging. How long has the business been going now?
Well, fully grown, I would say since late 2008, but it was something that I started, as I said, also as a hobby in early 2007, late 2007. But it boomed, when people start seeing the quality of the work that we do. And I took it, fully at late 2008.
Well, that's a fantastic story, because remember, you've grown against the recession.
Yes. Very much.
And that must have presented some challenges, but it looks like you've sailed your way through them.
It was very challenging, and it still is very challenging, because the depression is really, even though it's kind of fixing a little bit, it's still there, and people still use that as an excuse in order to make their marketing dollars stretch. So we try to keep on that level Even though it hurts us a little bit, we try to still keep and work with the marketing budget that clients have.
Well, that's good. So you operate with a level of sensitivity to where your clients are at. So you even though you have grown, you've sort of still seen your market shrink a bit because of the amount of money available to spend with you?
Exactly. That's what it is.
And does that mean that you've also had to diversify into other markets?
Well, we did, because what we have grown to do now is that we've went out into printing T-shirts, into embroidery. Right now we're looking into getting equipment to do laser engraving. You see, so once a client comes, it's like a one-stop shop, and then another client might want engraving, they might want signage, but we do everything at the same time. So we have to expand to that level and bring everything under one roof. And
how are you training your staff to deliver this kind of service and, in fact, the quality of craftsmanship that is required?
Well, probably once or twice a year, I have people come in, basically probably from Trinidad mainly, and once or twice from Miami, people that we bought equipment from, and, to give us crash courses basically on stuff. It's easier for me to bring them in than to send my guys out,
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good business model. And how have you found the demand for your product or from the Grenadian public?
Could you repeat that last part? I didn't hear the last part.
How have you found the demand from the Grenadian public for your product?
It's growing steadily, slow, not as fast as I would like it, but it's coming out there, because basically I get people tell me, no, they come to Shield Promotions and they say they don't know that Shield Promotion existed, even though we do have a marketing strategy. We do billboards, we have for our own advertising, radio announcements and stuff like that. People still, don't hear about us that much, but it's growing steadily.
Any chance of you expanding beyond these shores?
Well, actually, yes, because we're thinking probably expanding to smaller islands, not to say bigger islands, if that's what you mean, like beyond the shores, like shores of Grenada or shores of this business that I'm in.
Well, no, Eastern Caribbean is probably where I was talking about to start with, because
that's where we want to go to, expand to basically small islands, like St. Vincent, not to go into the big market or the bigger islands like Barbados, because they already have well-established sign companies. Also, Trinidad is not even a thought of going to these places, but basically more to smaller places that have not seen the kind of technology and are a little back where that is concerned.
You sound like you spend a lot of time thinking about your business model. I can hear that. For such a young man, where did that level of maturity come from?
I would have to say basically, from my mom. She's an accountant, and she always mentions, things like ways of how to deal with business and stuff. But basically, I think it's something that just grows in me, because I don't see myself as staying as one in this one industry. I'm looking at other fields, and at this present moment we're exploring and opening another business, in a different field. So it's more like an entrepreneurship that I look at, in that kind of sense.
Yeah, I understand. So you've got that entrepreneurial spirit. So basically, if there's an opportunity, you look at it. If you feel that you can nurture the skills to have a go at that marketplace, then nothing's stopping you.
Nothing at all. I remember when I was a young guy going to school, the principal of my school told me one thing. He said, never be afraid to explore. Take risks. So that's always stuck with me. So that's me. I always explore and always will be taking a risk.
I mean, that's interesting, because you've listened to a school teacher who's obviously provided you with a statement that has stuck with you. It's always fascinated to me as to why only certain individuals in the class hear that and others ignore it.
Well, you see, in sense like that, you see, in my case, for example, I think it's because for example, this teacher that told me this, we had a bond. You know, I knew him, I admire what he was teaching, so I kind of paid a particular interest in it. You know, so when he mentioned and he said to me, you know, he pulled me aside and he said to me, never be afraid to take a risk. To me, it seems like he saw something in me. You understand me?
Yeah.
That made him tell me that, or pull me aside and tell me that.
So he was mentoring you.
Basically, yes.
And
directly,
yes. and to a degree, I mean, what's refreshing is that you've recognised that this person was taking time out and making an investment in you, and basically you've returned on that investment.
Exactly, basically.
Yeah, I can hear that. I mean, I'm sitting here with a sense of pride. I have a Grenadian background, and to know that young people like you exist is a real bonus to our society.
Yeah, that's it.
So, tell me, what advice would you give to other young entrepreneurs out there before I close off this interview?
Basically, I just pass on the words that that great teacher told me. You know, never be afraid to take risk. If you see opportunity, don't think twice. Because I mean, there were times that I thought twice, and the opportunity just passed me by. So never think twice when you see that opportunity. Don't be afraid to take that risk. You know, there's a problem that a lot of people have. They're afraid to take risk. They have all the assets, they have everything they have, but they're just afraid to take that risk. You know, I mean, I started basically from nothing. I had no assets, I had nothing, and it's just that one opportunity that I saw, and I wasn't afraid to grasp it and take that risk. You know, hit or miss. It's either you go up or you go down.
But you learn from it either way.
Either way, you learn from it. So do not be afraid to take that risk, that one shot that would either make you a multi-millionaire or that one shot that would leave you where you are. You don't lose nothing. It's only to gain.
Well, Samir, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure that us at CaribNet, who will be carrying this broadcast, are going to be back and talking to you over the next coming months, because I think you're an inspiration, and we really look forward to some dialogue with you in the future.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm open anytime you guys want. Feel free.
No problem. Very nice to speak to you, Samir. Yep. Thanks very much.
Welcome.
We hope you enjoyed this interview and look forward to you joining us for the rest of the series. I've been your host, Michael Adams, and all that is left for me to do is to wish you all the very best from the CaribNet.com family. And don't forget to tell your friends and colleagues to log into CaribNet.com for some great features. That's CaribNet.com. That's 2 B's. Goodbye for now.